thought you'd listen to me, considering you and me go back a long way.
I've never seen you before in my life.
Tiled your bathroom. Just call me Tonso. I love you.
Is Daddy pissed again?
Daddy's not pissed, he's just very tired.
Smell off your newfound friends, the bloody Indians! Are you cool? Oi! Round here, the only law is mine.
Doubt is thorough in word and deed.
The Magnificent 11. It was a concept which came out of a conversation I had years ago now.
Could have been worse.
We were talking about ideas for different takes on genres of film, and I suggested a Western with Indians rather than Red Indians, and where the Cowboys weren't necessarily cowboys, but an out-of-work, initially rugby team who were a building company, cowboy builders.
The Cowboys are brilliantly bad footballers who have the potential to be good, or did, and maybe they were contenders at one point. They're in crisis with their relationships, with their with their wives or their girlfriends.
Right. That's it then, I've had just about enough. This is every bloody weekend.
Oh, come on, Kid. What?
Your stuff there. Get out!
Or with each other, and they're still just trying to figure out what it's all about.
Now we've got another problem.
What now?
But now they are guys running out of time. You know, they're men behaving sadly.
I wrote an original draft of it, and I gave it to my father, Pete, who I've script written with many times before, and he read it, and he said it was absolute rubbish. So I said, in that petulant child kind of way that you do, I said, well, if you think you can do better, you bloody well write it then, Dad.
Yeah.
And a few months later, Pete came back to me and he said, there you go, that's that script that you guys gave me, and I've redone it as a take on the Magnificent Seven.
Come on, the Cowboys!
3 writers on this: Pete Adams, John Adams, Irvine Welsh.
Stuff for morons.
Are you right?
I was in the pub with Irvine one evening, and I was telling him about my idea of a group of cowboy builders and an Indian family and a Cowboys and Indians movie based on the Magnificent Seven. And Irvine just thought it was hilarious, really wanted to look at it. Sent him the screenplay, he loved it, so Irvine came into the fold and did the next pass on the script with us, and we developed it together from there.
Pre-production, when we were looking at the sort of style that we were going for, in the pre-production and throughout the shoot, John Adams, producer, also one of the co-writers, it was great to have those discussions where we could come to an agreement about which direction we were going in and the look of the film.
I think it was always inevitable that we would have an ensemble cast on the Magnificent 11. You can't make a film with 11 footballers and a family of Indians and a load of thugs without obviously having a lot of main speaking roles in there.
When I first saw the Cowboy football team out there on the pitch, my first feeling was, wow, there's a lot of them.
Casting a film is always a very difficult and challenging but interesting and exciting process.
You don't frighten us.
Because it outgrows any film. To have people of the calibre of Sean Pertwee, Keith Allen, Paul Barber coming in.
Each of those actors brought something unique to that role.
A group of actors who are all established and are all big names in their own right can actually be a negative thing.
What's going on about a silly old fuck?
It can lead to personality clashes.
You bastards!
Language?
It can lead to competition on set, people not getting along.
Let me at him, I'll kill him off. Oh, you're cool! You're cool!
Stop it!
Everybody on this got on, had great fun, worked as a team. And equally, it can lead to problems in distribution because there isn't one big name for a distributor to hang their hat on. They've got lots of names to sell it on rather than one. It makes it much more difficult to put the film into a box in order to sell it to the public.
It felt like we had a troupe of actors, like a theatre troupe, who did grow together throughout the shoot, and we had some great fun making the movie.
We have got Tanya Franks, who's a well-established UK TV face, is there as Sean Pertwee's wife. We have got Joseph Millson. He's there just at the end of the film as the fire chief, and you know, he steals the scene, coming in just for those couple of lines.
No, you're going to have to find somewhere else to do whatever it is you lovely boys like to do.
They all had creative input.
Those central performances of Gary Mavers, Sean Pertwee, Robert Vaughn and Keith Allen, always surprising and also quite magical often.
I love this.
And bringing something alive.
Let's have it.
Which became much funnier than you anticipated, or much more poignant.
Well, we're dependent on this job. I mean, you know the current situation. I've got 4 lads down there, they're desperate for the work.
It didn't feel like a spoof or a parody of anything. It felt like these were real characters. I just kept seeing more and more scenarios opening up, which I would have loved to have followed. Keith obviously does a lot of straight acting as well as comedy. You could just let him improvise all day. He has that range. And then Gary Mavers.
Name's Larry. He's a cowboy.
He's kind of like the wandering cowboy.
I always end up with the gay ones.
The guy who tries to fix everything. Then you put him together with Sean Pertwee, and they're cleverly working off each other.
Oh, mate. You're right, though.
Yeah, I'm fine.
And bringing that friendship to life.
Love you, I really love you, mate, you know that.
I just love those scenes where you just thought, yeah, you could make a whole movie with this.
Krista Sands, who plays AJ.
You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
We loved him, we thought he was brilliant. He was very, very funny whenever he came in. Jeremy, I think, had worked with Sudha before.
It's nothing sacred, huh?
And he actually called her and said, would she be interested?
Don't you think you should be getting prepared to open up the restaurant?
From the moment of their first conversation, you can instantly understand their relationship and empathise with them. Philip Rhys, who plays Ramesh, is a fantastic actor, and I'm so proud to have him attached to this film, really. He brings that professionalism to set with him every day, and he's just a joy to work with. And Neat Mohan, who plays his younger brother.
Wow, good luck, bro. She looks like the wrong end of a cow. Hey.
Was a ball of energy and just brilliant to work with, and in fact I'm going to apologise to them for the fact that we cut one of their biggest scenes out of the film. We did have a scene in a cinema which was purely there to establish the relationship between the two of them as brothers, but we didn't need it in the film, and they established their relationship instantly in just the 10 seconds we see them walking down the street together. So I guess in many ways, almost by being too good, we cut their other scene. They gelled as a family. They had a spontaneous spark about them, and it shows on screen. Ryan Hawley, who played Kurt in the film, he came in to read for the part of Andy, the goalkeeper.
You're a naughty boy.
Miranda Gooch, the casting director, sort of said, well, how's your American accent? And he said, well, I play Americans most of the time. And he ended up just reading the part of Kurt for us. And having come in to read for Andy, we ended up casting him there and then as Kurt. Robert Vaughn, we approached to play the role of an American businessman.
You ain't big enough to take the piss.
Which was going to be Kurt's father.
I'd save my energy if I were you.
And we approached him and said, look, it's only a couple of days, we want you to play this American businessman, are you up for this?
It wasn't so good.
His agent, Gene Diamond, came back to me almost straight away and said, Robert's not going to do that. And I said, well, it's such a shame, because I really want Robert in this film because it's the Magnificent 11.
Well, then we'll make you change your mind.
And she said, no, you don't understand. He loves the idea, but he wants to play the villain.
Now that is an important lesson.
It wasn't a hard decision.
Does Dolly Parton sleep on her back?
You could have carried on the whole of the gangster scenario with Robert Vaughn and Kevin Howarth, who's also an American, maybe his son, maybe someone from the family, we don't know.
And that's really when the Vince and Jack characters came into existence. The Kevin Howarth and Joe Egan characters, the two big menacing thugs, they didn't exist before because the main villain was going to be menacing enough on his own. But when you put a man who's 79 years old into that role, suddenly he needs henchmen who go out and do his bidding. And in many ways he becomes a much scarier thing because he's a cold, calculating, intelligent villain rather than just an East End thug. So things change and shift as you're casting a film.
It was a privilege to be on set with him, and also just great to see how involved he wanted to be. You know, he wanted to do some stunts and 79th birthday on the first week of the shoot.
He was such a lovely, genuinely nice man who went above and beyond what he needed to do to get this film made.
What do you think the Lone Ranger would say?
The first couple of days of this film were really very heavy because we only had limited time with Robert Vaughn. So we had to shoot him out in the time we had, which means I would never normally have scheduled day one of shoot, day two of shoot as two of the biggest scenes of the film. The first thing we shot was the scene where the limousines arrived and the thugs come in and are going to burn down the hut. Obviously we didn't burn it until later in the shoot, but we did the whole of that scene and the whole of that sequence with the whole of the Cowboys football team, all of the thugs, 3 action vehicles, weapons on set. It was a big, big number. And a big challenge for Robert Vaughn because that's a lot of dialogue to plough straight into on morning one in the UK, having flown in from Connecticut 2 days earlier. And day 2 of our shoot was the fight outside the restaurant.
This movie called Sponge of Death. This time it's personal. I learnt all this with the bucket monks, you know. It's a handy little instrument. Defense. This is the first aid kit actually for the team. It has a double purpose, yes. Always wear pink gloves.
To be honest, for the first few days of the film, other than being in awe of Robert and just absolutely enjoying the challenge of making this film, it didn't really sink in that we were finally making the Magnificent 11. I didn't have time to sit back and say, hey, these actors are actually finally here playing these characters that Pete, Irvine and I have been throwing around in script form for some time.
was in a fight scene today, and I'm actually getting attacked by 5 men. So when I was boxing, I only ever had to handle one. Because I seem to be getting beaten up in the films now. Same as I got beaten up in the boxing ring.
Oh, so am I okay when you shoot? Yeah, you jump on me. What should we do? You want to go here, yeah? Then you jump on and then we go down. We'll go together. We'll go together, yeah? Good luck. Good luck. See you on Saturday. We need to go. 36, take 2. Action!
Playing a henchman to a Hollywood icon.
Magnificent 11!
I'm loving every moment of it. It's wonderful. Doesn't get better than this.
I have the utmost respect and time for him. He was awesome to work with.
Yeah, thank you, Robert.
That is Mr. Robert Vaughn, Principal Photography on this picture. Very much indeed, sir.